Do you have a potluck coming up? What are you going to do? Well, there's got to be something. What do we have in the fridge? Well, if we happen to have some paprika sitting around, maybe some mayonnaise, some eggs, half a dozen to be specific, and your favorite kind of mustard, in my case horseradish, but you know, spicy or brown mustard would be just as good. Then maybe we could make deviled eggs!
The only thing easy or cheap about Cara is her cooking. Only thing easy or cheap about Cara is her cooking.
Okay, so I already told you what you needed. The mustard is of your choice. My mayonnaise happens to be the kind with olive oil in it. You could start by getting a pot of water boiling. Alright, done.
Alright, so we already have the pot of water boiling. I'm just going to use my spider here, and you could use either a spoon or some other object you can easily lower the eggs down into the water with. Just be sure to keep the egg from cracking when it hits the bottom. You don't want one of those runny little egg whites things going on because, well, it kind of takes away the flavor of the egg, and we don't want that here. Be sure to lower it all the way to the bottom and gently tip it over before it cracks. Alright, so that's all 6 of my eggs that I got boiling in there. We're going to put them in there for 10 to 12 minutes, so in the meantime, let's get some other things done. So in the next 10 minutes, we can get a few things done. First thing we need is a small bowl and a larger bowl. The larger bowl we're going to use as an ice bath, so let's get that filled up. Alright, so we have an ice bath ready and waiting for when our eggs come out. What we're going to do, as soon as they come out, we're going to use the ice bath to shock the eggs. That way they stop cooking. Because otherwise they get that little green ring around the yolks, and we don't want that. In the meantime, we're going to get our small bowl and our mayo. Alright? We're going to put about, we'll call it a 1/3 cup of mayo in there. And then also about a 1/3 cup of mustard. We're just going to go ahead and eyeball that. Yeah, that looks good. Good dose of paprika. We like the flavor. Alright. And then we're just going to kind of stir that up. There, easy. Also in the meantime, we're going to need a bag and some scissors. This is going to come towards the end. So after about 11 minutes, I took my eggs out of the pot and put them straight into my ice water where they have been shocked. Alright, so now for the part that we're going to like the least. We're going to take our eggs and we're going to deshell them. My best way that I found is to tap the bottom because that's where the air bubble is and just start from there. This part isn't fun for anyone, so might as well get started with it, right? Be sure to do it nice and slowly, that way you don't get too many dents in your egg. Because we want to keep them looking as perfect as possible. I'm going to go ahead and throw my shells right back in the ice water. We don't need it after the eggs have already been shocked. Alright, there. Alright, as you can see, we have 6 peeled eggs. Next step, cut them all in half. They're all right in between hard and soft boiled, which is a great place for our eggs to be. They can either be soft or hard boiled. I actually prefer them a little bit harder, but that's alright. So we want to empty the yolks right into our little mixture that we made earlier. Alright, as you can see, all of our egg whites are empty and our yolks are right in our mixture, so go ahead and just mash it right in. Be sure to use a little bit of muscle. Our filling can be a little bit chunky, but let's get most of those chunks pretty tiny. Alright, so your filling can look something like this. It could be a little less red because of the amount of paprika I added, but I probably added about, I don't know, I'd say a teaspoon maybe a teaspoon and a half. You don't have to add as much. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Next thing we want to do, remember our bag from earlier? We're going to take our filling and put it in the bag. Now try and make it to where all the filling goes right in about the same place. You don't want too much of it everywhere. Just get it right in there. Whole thing. Now if you want, before you do this, you can try the filling and see if you want any more mayonnaise or mustard or paprika. I actually like it right where it's at. I may have been a little bit heavy on the mayonnaise, but I like that creaminess to it, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it in there. Not add anything else to cover it up. Alright, so that's my whole bowl. Put it in the bag. Go ahead and shut the bag. Let's get as much air out as we possibly can. There we go. And then we want to squeeze it all towards one corner, just like an icing bag. Now, let's make a little bit of room, because you see, we're going to snip that little piece off. Boom. Okay, so once we have that done, we can put the filling inside our yolks. Okay, so easy as this. That one got a little chunk. Oopsie. They're so good. So I use pretty much all of my bag. And if you don't, that's okay. Next and final step we want to do here, let's get the eggs a little bit closer together for this last step. What we want to do here is just garnish it with a little bit more paprika. You don't have to go as crazy as I do, but the thing is, it really just does make the presentation look great. So now if you have a potluck or a dinner party you want to attend, you're ready to go. And that's how you make deviled eggs.
Only thing easy and cheap about Cara is her cooking.